Left-Wing Kingz. Listen, think, act, repeat.
So on Thursday, June 27th, the president, Joe Biden, had one of the worst debate performances of all time, damn it. Damn it, Joe. Now members of his own party are calling for him to drop out of the 2024 presidential race. So many are wondering if the Democrats are thinking this decision through or are they making a knee-jerk decision that they're going to regret later. So today we're going to go ahead and discuss what no one seems to be talking about, and those are the potential consequences of Joe Biden deciding not to run for re-election in 2024. So danger number one is dividing the Democratic Party. If Joe Biden doesn't run, it could lead to a lack of unity and a fragmented strategy with various factions vying for control of the Democratic Party. Ace, how would this impact the party's overall chances in the general election?
That's what I hate about the Democrats, man. I mean, this is the reason I'm an independent, Like, why are they divided and why do they always get divided? Every time they see anything come up politically, any kind of challenge, they always just splinter off and divide. And the Republicans know this. You know what I'm saying? They know this. I mean, we all agree that debate wasn't Joe Biden's best day.
Nah.
We know that. But God dang, man. Everybody's going to jump on the bandwagon, let's change and this and that. And I mean, I've seen people going on the news on how it's time for them to go and all of this and that. And I think about the Republicans and I say, goddamn, Trump could have been up there slobbering and doing whatever and incoherent, and they would have just stuck right by him, man.
They would not have dropped him for anything.
And nobody would have went on the record and said anything. And let's be real. I mean, he's doing stuff now, and they're not saying nothing. I was thinking about when he was in trial and he got convicted. Became a convicted felon. Nobody was talking about, man, we need to consider somebody else, man. He's in court, man. You know what they did? These Republicans did. They went down, got matching suits, and met his ass at the courthouse. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Looking like a boy band from the 90s.
So that divisiveness, and I'm going to record and say right now, if they lose the election, it's just all on the Democrats, man. They
no doubt
put their foot in their own mouth, man, in this situation. Like, hey, we all know it was a bad day, but damn. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all just gonna throw the baby out right there, throw the baby out with the water. And then what's the worst that can happen? Mm-hmm. If he gets elected and he passes away, knock on wood, or he something goes wrong, he's not able to be the president. Well, we have measures in place for that. Yeah. The vice president then would become the president. That's the worst that can happen in this situation.
Exactly.
So why are they making such a big deal out of it?
Because the vice president is a black woman.
Yeah, the biggest thing is the reduced voter confidence. I think, if you keep hearing the same thing over and over again, what they're doing right now, right in the media, and just playing that he has a problem and he's not, fit to be, president, even though he's serving right now.
Yeah, he's president now.
Right. I think that's the biggest thing. And some people who are very fickle, they're going to, they do listen. They do say, oh, well, maybe, I don't know if he can do another 4 years. And then I don't know how you swayed over to the Trump side, but I mean, you might just think about sitting out. And sitting out, we all know, creates vote splitting. So understand, again,
you don't
if you sit out,
this one
right? If you sit out to vote, you're voting for the other one, even though not directly, but indirectly. That's what's going to happen on there. And just the internal conflict with the policy. Like, what do we stand for as Democrats? If we get a new person, what are we standing for? Is that person going to stand for exactly the same things Biden is, or is it going to be some other different things that we have to start thinking about? So I just need to, hold on, Joe. Hold on, Joe. Riding with you.
That actually kind of leads to danger number two, which is policy uncertainty. So President Biden has several irons in the fire to address things like climate change, healthcare, abortion, and a lot of other economic reforms. So if he doesn't run, it's going to create some of that uncertainty that you were talking about the future of these initiatives. So I want to kick it back to you, Yolanda. If new Democratic candidates don't support Biden's agenda, what impact will it have on the critical issues he's trying to fix right now?
Right. I think the biggest is the social impact of it. So basically, if people feel insecure, right, that it affects how they start spending, just your economic. We're already in this economic situation that they're afraid of. So I think that's going to be the biggest hit is the social impact of it. What are they thinking? What are they going to do? Now I'm scared. You create that fear, and that drives all kind of things and puts, a damper on the economic situation that we're already in. Also the damaged global standing. Like, how do we look to everybody else? Like, we're supposed to be number one in the country and we're leading, but are we leading? So I just think how we look at in a global perspective is just not a good light. We're infighting. They see the news, what's happening. Democrats are fighting with themselves. We got a felon. The other candidate's a felon. It just doesn't have a good look. And people start doubting us.
Yeah, you talk about policies, man. Look at the policies Joe Biden's put down. I mean, let's just start with the economy. Inflation is down. They're talking about where they're since COVID that they've started to lower prices. He's actually attacking corporations for all this price gouging they did. This really caused all the inflation. He's going after these people. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things that he's got in place. The infrastructure bill that he's doing is creating jobs. And we don't want to talk about how he's created more jobs since the 50s than any other president. This is all about the dead guy we saw at the podium that day. They're still being a president, still doing it right now. You know what I'm saying? President's got a couple of jobs, man. One of them is just hiring smart people, and he's got smart people in place. So who said they're going to keep those people when they're here? It's a lot of things that can happen and affect the policy. We're not in a bad place, people. You know what I'm saying?
Nope. And
why would you want to change up that just because you think the guy's too old? Some of y'all still borrowing money from your grandmama and grandpapa, and they got dementia. They're still asking them for advice and shit. You know what I'm saying? So let's just put that to bed. So yeah, man, it can really affect policy if we make that change.
Yeah, I like the fact that you brought up the individuals who he has in place right now. He has a lot of smart people that are working with him. Joe Biden could be sitting in a meeting with us right now, and we would be telling him things that would influence his decisions. He's not just doing things in a vacuum. He's not the only one sitting in the room by himself, typing on a computer. We're going to do this legislation. He's not typing up the bill himself and having conversations all by himself about what's best to do. He has smart people around him who he's working with to work to fix the issues that are impacting us every single day. And he's doing a good job at it right now. I mean, if he's such a danger right now, why is it okay for him to be president right now? Why aren't they trying to get rid of him right now? They want to wait till the election.
Why aren't they invoking Amendment 25 or what it is? I think
that you can overthrow, right?
That you can overthrow the government. You know what I'm saying? Why ain't they doing that right now if that's a simple case? I'm saying, but that's why I say the Democrats got life all messed up. You going out, like I said, Trump, I ain't heard nothing from Trump in the last 2 weeks.
That's what I was saying the other day.
Yeah, because he ain't got to do it. We got dumbasses out there bringing them down.
I was saying, man, my man almost always pounces on every opportunity to talk and say something. If he's sitting back and saying nothing and allowing us to destroy, like drag each other down, drag each other through the mud, he's loving it. He's sitting in a room somewhere watching TV, just like, remember when the insurrection and he was just watching the whole thing, just loving it. He was happy and shit. People said, you got to do something. No, thank you. This is what he's doing right now. He's sitting back watching these Democrats tear each other apart and unfortunately, we already know from Project 2025, which we're going to talk about later, that there is going to be a bunch of policy changes if he is in office. And if another Democrat steps in and actually wins, there's probably going to be some policy changes too that they want to own their own shit. Each president wants to have their own stamp, right? They don't want to come in and just follow along unless they were already part of that and they see value in it, right? So Biden followed along with like the Affordable Care Act because he found value in it and he was part of that. Kamala Harris would probably adopt some of Joe Biden's policies and move on with those, but she's going to institute some of her own. If we have a brand new Democrat that actually wins, he's probably going to want to put his stamp on shit and have his own policies and get rid of all the shit that Joe Biden is doing. So it'll probably be just the same as almost the same as a Republican winning the election if another Democrat wins, because they want to put their stamp on shit. You know what I'm saying?
Well, once we get the new guy, right, a new woman, whoever it is, lo and behold, a crisis comes out behind them because the damn Democrats are going to split and, and start talking about that person like they always do. So, I mean, it's really a party focus on, man, what are you guys trying to do and why do y'all believe that's going to work? You know what I'm saying? Like, right. Especially when everything that's happening in the presidency is positive right now. Like, why ain't y'all concentrating on that? Yeah, that's crazy.
Another thing that would be positive is if you click on that like button. All right. So if you're enjoying this conversation, please like this video. And if you'd like to see more conversations like this, be sure to subscribe to Left Wing Kingz and share this content on all of your social media platforms.
Yeah, don't be scary like the Democrats.
Please click that like button. All right. So danger number 3 is what you kind of alluded to earlier, Walanda, damaged global standing. So President Biden has emphasized rebuilding alliances and re-engaging with international organizations. Walanda, if President Biden's replacement has different priorities or strategies, how might it impact America's influence and leadership globally?
Well, I was thinking about like diplomatic leverage, like he likes to negotiate so we don't have to use military intervention. And I think that is the biggest take. We don't all want to go to war. We all know what's happening with Ukraine and the rest of them, Palestinians and Israel. But he has negotiation tactics. And my worry is, does that person have that type of experience? Or what is going to happen if they do not? Our worlds are, you already see what's happening in China and things of that nature. And I just want to know where we're going to go in that aspect. Like if they don't have the experience of that.
We all know if Trump becomes president, he's going to just tear NATO apart.
That too.
You know what I'm saying? He's Putin's boy. I think Russia's trying to get him in office right now. Going to tear NATO apart. He's going to leave Ukraine vulnerable. He's not going to mess with Israel. Ain't nobody that stupid, but And plus, that's part of the industrial war complex. We build them guns, and all his CEO buddies get to sell military goods to America for a lot of money. So that's why, he's going to keep a war going somewhere. And Israel's the one that he can kind of keep doing that with. But yeah, I mean, and just he's going to, he just met this week with the leader of Turkey, which is an autocratic leader. He's warming up to all the autocrats and all the dictators around the world. So we know where he's going. We know what playbook he's doing. And like I said, we're going to talk about 2025 here a little bit later, Project 2025, but we know where he's trying to go with this. So it's not going to be good when it comes to diplomacy around the world. Basically, it's not going to be better. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to start off with NATO.
Definitely agree. The other one, too, was the crisis management. I think about, again, going back to, we don't want to go through back a pandemic, but his crisis management, with Trump wasn't very good. He didn't have those people to reach out to. That's what I think the biggest thing is. He didn't have nobody to call and to speak to, and he don't listen to anybody anyway. So just saying that, again, yes, we went through one pandemic. To say that we never will in our lifetime, I don't know.
Look, I was talking to somebody this week, and we're talking about why, we wouldn't vote for Trump. I said, look, with all the other crap he got going on, there's one reason I wouldn't vote for Trump. One main reason. He can't govern. The one thing that he needed to do, the one job he should have got right was COVID, and he failed at that. He lied to us. He put us in harm's way. What is the job of a president if it's not to, handle crisis and keep us out of harm's way? You got to get that one right. Mm-hmm. That's all I need right there. I don't need nothing. That's no court cases. That's no Stormy Daniels. That's no grabbing people by the pussy. That's none of that. Mm-hmm. That's just him basically not being able to govern. The one thing a president should be able to do.
Yeah,
agree.
Definitely. And I mean, this guy, he's the other thing. The other part of that scenario that you just kind of talked about was he can't govern, but his background is not even in politics, it's in business, and he's a horrible businessman. So damn, I mean, this man has been sued multiple times. He's a convict. He's done all type of things, man. And
He's
at
not
the end
bankrupt.
He's
Quite a few. There's people in business who've never been bankrupt. Y'all know that, right?
Yeah, sometimes that's a business strategy, but
it is a business strategy to keep your
Right,
stuff.
keep your money.
You know what I'm saying? But
Crooked.
Here's the funny
Immoral
part about me. I
behavior.
always say this. Every president we had, wherever they were from, they loved him. Like, Obama was from Hawaii, they loved him. Clinton was from Arkansas, they loved him. Nobody in New York loves Trump.
No
He
one.
still owe a lot of people money in New York. He can't even do business in New York no more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That should tell you. If you can't go back home,
That's a problem.
that's a problem.
Yeah. Well, that kind of leads me to like number 4, which is lower voter turnout. And to your point, nobody loved Trump, but people love Biden. People from his state love him.
Right.
And if Biden decides not to run, it could shift the voting dynamics through altering the voter turnout, particularly among key demographics critical to the Democrats. So, Ace, how could Joe not running impact swing states, congressional races down the ticket, and the balance of power in Washington?
I don't know the exact number because that's Walanda's territory. I'm not good at that. I can say it, but I can't spell it. My education level ain't that high.
Oh, stop it.
So she's the smart one. I'm the funny one. You know what I'm saying? So, but nonetheless, Biden got crazy number of votes in the last election, right? You know what I'm saying? So, like, how can you promise the next person's going to have that kind of stand up?
Can't.
I know you guys are looking at polls and doing this and doing that, but it ain't people who voted for Biden last time just saying, hey, I'm not going to vote for him no more. Most of the time you hear him, they say, hey, you know what? He's old. We know it, but I'm still going to still vote for him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But like, so if you change somebody up, that's going to devastate those numbers right there. We got to like that person. You know what I'm saying? You don't think the Republicans are sitting over there celebrating that we're talking about replacing the incumbent president?
Right.
You don't think they're celebrating that? You know how stupid that is?
Mm-hmm.
You know how much a victory they're already having because we sound stupid? Well, not we. Democrats sound stupid because I'm not a Democrat. This is the reason why. I was raised one, but no. You know what I'm saying? and here's the reason why, man, because you just don't do that, especially when he carries the power that he already carries. He's got the delegates. He's got the people here, the whole 9 yards. Even if you were to try to make a move like that, you would at least try to get the guy in office, then make a move once you win. You're not going to just change the game up in the middle. So, yeah, it's crazy to talk like that. How does it affect the ticket? If people don't show up and start voting because they're uncertain, then all of a sudden now you're going to lose seats in the Senate. You're going to lose seats in the House. You know what I'm saying? Where we were possibly going to get the Speaker of the House, Hakeem Jeffries, in power, which is what you really need to do. That's really the battle. Because the House Republicans have been fucking up since they ever been there. They done went through 3 damn Speaker of the Houses. That's who we trying to get rid of. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna go in here, you're gonna change things to the top of the ticket. You're gonna do all this uncertainty. Some people are gonna just be discouraged not to vote. We're gonna lose seats. We're not gonna be able to get the Speaker of the House, and we still gonna be dealing with Marjorie Taylor Greene's ass for the next 20 years or whatever the hell may be.
Exactly.
Somebody get rid of her ass somewhere.
Please. And I always say the swing states, and like you said, your independents are the ones who determine the outcome of the election. Just to reiterate like what the swing states were, because I was like, well, who are we focusing on? Who are we supposed to be targeting? Because, like I said, they don't always come to Texas all the time because they think automatically Texas is going to carry and be red or whatever the case may be. So the swing states would be Florida, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona. Georgia's a new one, which Georgia didn't used to be. Ohio, Nevada, New Hampshire, and Iowa. So those are the states that we definitely want to put focus on because unfortunately, we don't know which way they're going to sway.
You said Arizona, right?
Arizona is one. So it does get scary, but do understand that Democrats typically always win as far as the majority, right? The popular vote. It's the Electoral College. So that's why it's really, really important that they focus on gear on these states, because if these states go one way or the other, we all know the Electoral College actually is what is going to, or who is going to name the president.
What else do those states have in common, I know.
Some of them
That's a setup question.
have a lower population of the minorities are residing in them. I'm sure you understand Iowa is not, you don't see a lot of us or brown people by that chance. But Nevada, diverse. Georgia has a very large population of black people and white. But I mean, they're I think I can remember its percentage, but it was like 48, I think, 48 or 49% as far as Black Americans that reside there. And then you have Arizona, Wisconsin, no. But again, I think regardless of race, people have to understand what's good moral character, who's out there to do the best interest for you. And that's how you got to vote.
You know what else them states got in common?
What?
Trump sent fake electors to all them damn states.
Yes. And there's fake electors that actually are going to, right? The fake electors are actually going to be.
It's people about to go to prison right now because he sent fake electors to all them people.
And now
And
they're
those
real
people are
electors.
part of the
And now they're real electors. How about that?
Republican campaign. Like they're giving
No, they're
them
real.
jobs.
Yeah.
They gave them jobs.
So you think it's ironic that all the states
no.
you just named that
Right.
are going to be affected by this, they got fake electors sent to them?
Yeah.
We sent fake people over there to just try to rig the election, but the election's rigged.
Because Democrats win the popular vote
Yeah.
year after year after year. The Electoral College and Republicans lose the popular. So that means majority of the people don't agree with you, but you still gonna reside over everybody.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
I mean, speaking of popularity, another thing that makes people popular is their experience. And that leads us to number 5, which is loss of experience. So President Biden has decades of political leadership experience, which brings stability and seasoned leadership to the presidency. Walanda, what could Biden's absence from the ticket mean to the country during this critical time of recovery and change?
I wrote a lot on this one. So first, legislative skills. Again, he was the youngest in, right? And now he's the oldest. So his legislative skills are on point. He knows how to negotiate. He knows how to reach across the aisle. He talks about that all the time, that he has Republican friends and independent friends and Democratic friends. And we know what that means in order to get laws passed. Policy knowledge. Also, he knows policy. That's why he speaks to it and the other guy does not, because he's not comfortable with it. And with comes experience, comes knowledge, right? So he's comfortable in doing that. Deeper understanding of various policy issues. Again, crisis management. I would like to see how he would have handled the pandemic versus how Trump was. I mean, we can't go back, but it'd be very interesting because he has that experience there.
He cleaned up his
He's
mess,
equipped,
so.
right. True enough. Do understand that we're in a better position because that man has now stepped in. Diplomacy and international regulations. Again, he knows who to speak to, who not to speak to, why we should be with NATO, why we, just things. Common sense to him is not going to be common sense to Trump, again, because he doesn't have that experience, that loss of experience in dealing with diplomacy. Public perception and trust. Again, and over again, no one says that Biden is a bad man. That's the first thing people will say, is that he is a good man. And to me, I would like a good person to make decisions for me because I know it's in their best intentions, right? And the last thing is understanding of political dynamics. He knows how to build coalitions and achieving policy goals. The purpose of legislation, right, is to pass policy and to pass laws. He has the experience in doing so, and the other one does not. And hence why we didn't have a lot done aside for rich people and corporations during the time that he was in office. You want somebody for the people.
Yeah.
I was going to say this. How long y'all guys been on y'all's jobs? 20 plus years doing what y'all doing?
Yep.
So how much more can y'all get accomplished now than y'all could at year 4 or year 5 when y'all working in this business? It's just common damn sense. Man's been in the building, and for you to say, well, everything's messed up, so he's part of it, and he's been all easy. Listen, man, you know what I'm saying? That's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? That's just complete utter bullshit. Like, you're talking about trying to change the government completely. One of the only governments over the last century that's survived and been profitable, which is the United States government. This guy's been part of that. He knows the inner workings. He knows what buttons to push. He knows who to call. He probably got Mitch McConnell on speed dial. You know what I'm saying? And knows how to get him right and negotiate, which we're supposed to do in this country to get things done. That's the reason we have debates and political arguments and everything that we have set up, so we can agree to disagree and come up with the best result. It's been working for the last 200 plus years. Right. Now you got this fucking idiot coming here talking about he wants to take over and give him the keys. Why the fuck do we want to give Donald Trump the keys to anything? He couldn't get the Apprentice right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He couldn't get Trump Plaza right. Trump University right.
Right.
Trump Dog, Bear, or whatever the fuck he's got going on right now. And excuse you, Jesus. The Bible he sold us, he couldn't do right. So I don't understand why we can't even get into the thing. We start talking experience and even go there because on experience, why the hell would you want to get rid of that guy that's been doing this since damn near Kennedy been in office? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All these years, why you want to get rid of that when he knows what buttons to push and get things done, and then getting things done to this day?
Exactly.
Yeah, well, I will say this, that we're looking at replacing Biden with another Democrat, right? We're not looking at replacing with Trump. They're trying to get another Democrat in there first. And let me just say this to Biden's defense. He's the only one that has 8 years experience as a VP and 4 years experience as a president, almost 4 years.
Yeah.
So we can't find anyone on our side of the ticket that has more experience as him, just from that perspective. Not even looking at like how many years he's been in Congress. That's extra on top of all of that. No one has that much executive office experience, and that's not something that we should be allowing to happen. His replacement just coming in.